Arsenal. Are we for real? We are for real. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this show. Unbelievable stuff to be talking about this midfielder in the context of Arsenal. But there are reports around from reputable sources that Arsenal may be tempted into a move for the Spaniard. And so in today's show, with the help of some fantastic insight, we get to talk about one of my favourite midfielders. Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another show, for another one of our live tactical breakdowns. I'm enjoying doing these live because I get to go through some of your comments at the same time as breaking down the players. Now, usually what happens in these tactical breakdowns, if you are new to the show, is we look at players that Arsenal might be signing, and a lot of the time they're players that not a lot of people know too much about. For instance, we talked about Salah Eddin, the young 17-year-old Dutch player that we got from Feyenoord, and that got a lot of views because no one really knows much about him. And to give you guys some insight on a player is a real pleasure to do, and especially when it's someone about that not many people know about. With Thiago, it's different because there's not too many football fans on the planet that don't know who Thiago is and what he's about, but we're going to go through the same sort of process, get some insight from a good Bayern fan, and of course then look into the graphics and the statistics of the player too. So let's jump straight into things. Before we do, please make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Turn those notifications on so you never miss a show. But I've got some insight from a fantastic guy today called Bayern Ryan. He's a top man. Go check out his Twitter at Bayern_Ryan. Want to make sure I got that right. There's an amazing video on his Twitter account with Frank Ribery, so check that one out. And let's listen to what Bayern. I keep saying Brian Ryan, but let's see what Bayern Ryan has got to say.
What's up, guys? It's Bayern Ryan here. So Thiago, I mean, what can you really say about arguably the best all-around, all-purpose midfielder on the planet? For Liverpool, Arsenal, whoever else, I guess, is kind of getting offers or wanting to bid, they all need that solid midfielder. The best thing about Thiago at Bayern is he's kind of the glue that kept the midfield together. He could play the 10 if he needed to. He could play the 8 if he needed to, but we really relied on him a lot as the 6 that could also bounce back to playing a center back role to cover for a center back, or cover for a left back like Davies. He's had to cover for him a few times with Davies up the field. I think once or twice he had to do it for Benjamin Pavard on the right side. But predominantly what Thiago does best than anybody, period, is his hold-up play. And the keeping possession, no matter who's guarding him, what team you're playing against. I mean, he showed against Barcelona, he showed against PSG, especially against PSG, that he alone can overtake a midfield. He can dictate, even from a defensive midfield position, he can dictate what happens forward, communicates well. His passes sometimes are a little off, but once he gets into that routine, his passes are spot on. He's not really a gigantic goal threat, but he can if need be. But even with the price, would be a cheaper Kevin De Bruyne type player. Maybe you could call him a little bit older version of a Kai Havertz, with a lot more possession and a lot more ball skill than Havertz or Kevin De Bruyne. There's not really many players on the planet that do what he does. I mean, his chances created have kind of gone down recently, but he's not playing the 10 anymore. So, I mean, if you're needing a defender, or a defending mid, he's by far the best one on the planet. And for the $30 to $40 million range, you're not going to get a player of his caliber for that price. I mean, there's nobody on the planet that costs what we would accept for what you're going to receive. So for the past 4 to 5 years, he's arguably been our best midfielder. And for, I'd say, 3 of those 5 years, he's been the best midfielder on the planet, barring Kevin De Bruyne. But yeah, and once the World 11 teams come out for a lot of people, because I'll start seeing them coming out, Thiago's on every list. It's always De Bruyne, Thiago, and then somebody else. So, I mean, I'd rather y'all get him than Liverpool, but it is Arsenal. You don't want to see that. So, but yeah, I mean, if you get him, you're getting a winner, and you're getting one of the best players, period, on the planet at the midfield position. So, hopefully, y'all get to him before Jurgen Klopp does, because I don't want to see him in a damn Liverpool jersey. So, Bayern Ryan out. Y'all guys have a good day.
Thank you ever so much to Bayern Ryan for giving us some fantastic insight onto Thiago and confirming everything that I've ever watched about the player. You can follow him over on Twitter at Bayern_Ryan. As I said before, an amazing video with Frank Ribery is his pinned tweet, so check that one out. Was chatting to him last night. Fantastic guy. He kind of confirms the worries I have, because I can't see this deal happening in the short term, because why anyone else wouldn't come in for Thiago if he's available? And surely a Champions League club would come in and scupper any sight of Arsenal getting this deal done. But what we do on the show is we cover the players that are linked, and Thiago is linked, and so therefore we need to go into some statistical analysis on the player. So let's start off with some statistics, of course. We love our stats over here at the Gooner Talk. So, I mean, you're looking here at the statistics of an unbelievable player. 91.6% passing accuracy, 74.4% long passing accuracy. And the fact that he has 91.6 passing accuracy, and he's on average using 7.5, just over that, long passes per game is mental. Passes into the final third, 85.6% accuracy. Passes into the box, 57.5% accuracy. Really, really strong statistics there. And playing in that sort of position where the ball is needing to be recycled, he's still averaging over 10 backward passes, but 22 forward passes per game. You have to remember that he's, of course, playing in a Bayern side that dominate possession in almost every single game they play, but still, unbelievable stuff there. But it's defensively where I really want to have a look into the player. 63.8% of the defensive duels he gets involved with, he wins. And this is where I'm going to start off with the graphics. And talking about the Champions League final, for me, Thiago, from the bits that I did get to see, was an absolute star. Let's take this example here where PSG are on a break on the right-hand side, Paredes. And you can see with Thiago's positioning, he's behind the ball, he's jogging. Paredes is in full flight, trying to get the ball driven up the pitch. Thiago recognises the danger. He pushes back into the back part of the pitch, into the final third of Bayern's half. And as the ball is coming across to be played through to the central area to Neymar, he slides in and intercepts it wonderfully. And this isn't something that just happens in a one-off scenario. Thiago does this a lot, and his reading of the game is so strong and so unrivaled. To have that kind of read on the game in a team like Arsenal would be an absolute priceless advantage. This example here against Chelsea, Thiago's not even in the picture at this point. Abraham waiting for support to arrive, and in a minute you're about to see Barkley run into the box, and he's going to be very quickly tailed by our man Thiago there. And again, disadvantaged positionally. The ball is played into Barkley, and Thiago still manages to get to the ball first, putting the ball out and relieving Bayern of the danger in that scenario. And it's just unreal how good Thiago is in these areas anticipating passes, anticipating play. And not only that, I'll show you another example in a second when you combine it with his passing. So covering his passing briefly, and Ryan kind of talked about how he links up with Davies, or if Alaba's playing on the left-back position, they link up really well. And he receives the ball often from that left-hand side, be it Davies or Alaba. In this instance, in the Champions League final, it is Davies that's handing him the ball. He takes the ball, he's got loads of space, he turns, he sees what the opportunity's got available, he sees Kimmich advanced up the pitch as opposite side fullback. The gap's got to go through 4 players, and he does it superbly, finding the German fullback turn midfielder at times. And it's the exquisite nature in which he conducts his passing play is just sublime. You then take this example against, I believe it's Hoffenheim. Annoyingly, this on my screen, it's covering it up in my corner, but I believe you can see it's Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim are actually in possession at this point, and it's and Bayern win the ball back. And Thiago is disadvantaged again with the Hoffenheim player. Ball side of him, and he anticipates where the ball is going to get deflected, not passed to, deflected out into that space. He finds himself in there, and first time pings the ball out to Gnabry and finds his man. It's just a different level of midfielder is what Thiago is. Another example here, receiving the ball this time from Alaba against Chelsea in the first leg of their Champions League. I believe it was quarter final at that stage. And he pings the ball straight through for Lewandowski to get a chance with one ball over the top. And you sometimes talk about long ball football isn't nice to watch, but my God, Thiago somehow makes it an absolute pleasure to witness. Final example I'm going to show you is when he is actually more offensive. He can be found further up the pitch, as you can see in this example here against Mainz away from home. Receives the ball this time, I believe it's from Davies. And you've got a whole host of Mainz players surrounding Thiago. But Thiago, with his technical dribbling ability, takes the ball forwards, beats his man, 1, 2, 3, 4, gets through on goal and smashes it past the Mainz keeper and into it to make it 3-0 to Bayern Munich in that game. And he's just an absolute unreal player to watch. And I talked about this in terms of Partey, and people asked me on the show whether I prefer Partey or Thiago. And I kind of lean towards Partey because I kind of want to see that physical, tall, imposing player at the base of the midfield and possibly even slightly further up in a pivot position. But what Thiago would give Arsenal is the ability to have someone that can really be relied upon in possession, that can recycle it well, that can win the ball back, that can play a pass out to the wide areas efficiently and use those areas so well, and also offer you something going forward as well. And he's just... I think it's a pipe dream. I really do. I can't see this deal happening. There was rumours that Arsenal were interested in getting Thiago in, but it makes no sense for me for Thiago to come to Arsenal with the Europa League football. It would be his last sort of big move, and why would he want to take that big risk when he can go to somewhere like Liverpool, for instance? I'll tell you what, if Liverpool get Thiago, that midfield is just taken on that. You look at the midfield and possibly the other centre-back spot as an area where Liverpool can improve. And if they get Thiago, my God, this would be unreal. But to get him at Arsenal would be amazing. And Avon said he's Brazilian. Yeah, he is. He's got Brazilian parents, I believe, and he was actually born in Italy. So, because I remember writing about him previously, and then he moved over, went into the La Masia Academy at Barcelona. And then when Pep Guardiola left Barcelona, he took Thiago Alcantara over to Bayern, and then he's been there ever since and grown into an amazing player. And of course, I just felt he's a bit underused in the Spanish national team as well. A real pleasure of a player to watch, and were he to join Arsenal, he'd be straight on the back of my shirt for next season. But yeah, he is Spanish, but he was born in Italy to Brazilian parents, is the best of my knowledge. But and that obviously leads to him playing for the Spanish national team, spending so long in Spain with Barcelona as a young guy, and then so it's amazing heritage, amazing link between 3 nations that have gone into the culmination of making Thiago what he is, and 4 nations, I suppose, if you count Germany. So amazing story from Thiago. I wish that we could get him in. I highly doubt it would be the case, but it would be a real coup if Arsenal were able to bring in this Spaniard. And I can't wait to see if Arsenal manage to pull it off. I doubt it, but we'll just have to wait and see. That rounds us off for today's tactical breakdown. Thank you ever so much, everyone that tuned in and threw your comments in. I enjoy doing these live ones because I can read your comments as we go through. I know some of you guys are saying that you highly doubt this will happen, as do I. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We should see an announcement about Gabriel fairly soon, so I'm interested to see how that goes down. But other than that, it's been a pleasure to speak to you as it always is. Make sure you give Bayern Ryan a follow on Twitter at Bayern_Ryan. Follow us at the Gooner Talk TV. We'll see you again very, very soon. And as always, up the Arsenal.